She married into luxury, power, and a life everyone envied. What no one knew was that the marriage wasn't her dream. It was her strategy. This is the story of how a quiet betrayal inside a penthouse led to the most calculated revenge the city had ever seen. And the ending changes everything you think you know about her. The city never slept. It shimmered. Glass towers, glowing penthouses, quiet power moving behind tinted windows. From the top floor of the ardent residences, Juliet watched the lights like they were stars. Tomorrow she would marry one of the most powerful men in the city. Sebastian Ardent was wealth wrapped in restraint. CEO, old money, untouchable reputation. At public events, his hand rested lightly on Juliet's back. People whispered, "She saved him. He finally settled down. He finally settled down." No one asked what it cost her. The prenup was thicker than most novels. Juliet read every page. Sebastian watched her quietly. "You don't trust me?" he asked. She smiled softly. "I trust clarity." He smiled back, but something in his eyes closed. The wedding was everywhere. Blogs, private feeds, quiet envy. White roses imported overnight. A string orchestra under glass ceilings. A kiss that looked convincing enough to fool even her. Juliet told herself, "This is safety. This is stability." She ignored the chill in her chest. Her name was Mara. Executive assistant. Always present. Always invisible. Mara knew Sebastian's schedule better than Juliet did. And when Juliet spoke, Mara sometimes finished the sentences. That was the first crack. Juliet never went through phones. But the screen lit up on the marble counter. Last night meant more than it should have. Mara. Juliet didn't cry, nor did she shake. She simply memorized everything. She didn't confront him. She watched, listened, learned. Juliet understood something powerful that night. Revenge wasn't loud. It was patient. Juliet became flawless. Morning kisses. Public smiles. Elegant silence. At events, she stood beside Sebastian like she belonged there. Calm, polished, untouchable. No one suspected that every smile was strategy. Sebastian relaxed. That was his mistake. Juliet started asking questions. Not directly. Never suspicious. She learned which board members hated Sebastian quietly. Which investors feared instability. Which charities were tax shield. At night, she read financial reports instead of love letters. Mara grew careless. Lingering touches. Private jokes. Eye contact that lasted a second too long. At one gala, Mara adjusted Sebastian's tie. Something only Juliet should have done. Juliet noticed everything. His name was Adrian Vale, old money investor. Sebastian's quiet rival. Adrian noticed Juliet's intelligence before anyone else did. "You're wasted on silence," he said once, softly. She smiled. "I won't be quiet forever." Juliet never accused. Instead, she asked questions in public. "Did Mara send that file? I thought she was on leave." "You trust her completely, right?" Sebastian began watching Mara, not with desire, but with suspicion. Seeds grow fastest when watered with fear. Juliet reread the prenup. One clause stood out. Infidelity that damages corporate reputation triggers. Asset re-evaluation. She smiled for the first time in weeks. At a charity dinner, Mara slipped. Too familiar. Too confident. Cameras caught it. The internet noticed. Juliet didn't confront Sebastian. She comforted him. "People misunderstand powerful men," she whispered. That night, Sebastian held her like a lifeline. And for the first time, Juliet knew she had won control. The boardroom smelled like polished wood and quiet fear. Sebastian sat at the head of the table, confident, distracted. Juliet sat beside him, elegant, unreadable. This meeting was supposed to be routine. It wouldn't be. Adrian spoke first. "Before we begin," he said calmly, "there are concerns shareholders deserve to see." Screens lit up. Messages. Timestamps. Photos taken in places that belonged to the company. Mara froze. Sebastian didn't breathe. Juliet finally spoke. Soft. Controlled. "The prenup," she said, "protects the company, not egos." Lawyers nodded. Board members whispered. Sebastian turned to her, confused. She didn't look back. Mara tried to explain. No one listened. Her access was revoked. Her badge deactivated. Security waited by the door. She looked at Juliet, begging. Juliet offered nothing. Sebastian stood abruptly. "You planned this," he said quietly. Juliet met his eyes for the first time all morning. "No," she replied. "You invited it." Adrian spoke again. "One more disclosure." The screen changed. Juliet's name appeared, not as spouse, as majority shareholder. Sebastian staggered back. She had been buying quietly, strategically, legally, while he underestimated her. Sebastian's vote was overruled. His position dissolved. His reputation fractured. The company he built no longer belonged to him. Juliet signed the final document without hesitation and with a smile on her face. That night, the penthouse felt hollow. Sebastian spoke without anger now. "You never loved me." Juliet picked up her coat. "I loved the woman I became after you." She left the ring on the table. Months later, Juliet stood on a different balcony, a different city, a different life. Her name appeared on business headlines, alone, not as a wife, as power.